Group C of Copa America wraps up on Monday night at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on July 1st. And it's one of the biggest games of the group stage between host nation USA and one of the tournament favorites, Uruguay. And if we look at the standings in this group so far, Uruguay leads with 6 points, USA with 3, Panama with 3, Bolivia at the bottom with 0 odds in this game. USA will be favored, plus 145, the draw plus 220, Uruguay plus 200, the over 2.5 plus 110, the under, it's favored to be a low-scoring match, minus 138, both teams to score yes and no, both coming in at minus 110 odds. Let's get into the preview of this game. If you want more Copa America picks, be sure to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll have tons more videos for Copa America and Euro 2024 as well. For USA, Matchday 1, they beat Bolivia 2-0. Matchday 2 lost 2-1 to Panama. We saw a red card early in that game in the 18th minute. Keeper Matt Turner also left the game injured at half, so they're likely to be out. Definitely out Weah, possibly out Turner as well for this game. This game against Panama was wild. Like I said, Weah saw the red card early on for a head punch. USA scored, though, minutes later to take a lead despite being down a man. Panama tied it soon after, 1-1. Game stayed that way until late into the game, and even though USA was down a man and could have settled for a point, they were still trying to attack, but it was Panama who ended up scoring late in that game in the 83rd minute. Panama then took a red card of their own in the 88th minute. Final score, 2-1, Panama. USA have their backs against the wall here, knowing they need to at least get a point in this game, but possibly and likely even win. All stats in that game were in Panama's favor. However, they were up a man most of that game. Possession, 74%. Shots, 13-6. Shots on target, 4-3. Corners, 3-0. This leaves USA in the precarious position, knowing they need to beat Uruguay, likely to advance in this game. If they lose and Panama beat Bolivia, which is very likely, Bolivia has looked awful, they will definitely be out. A Panama win over Bolivia certainly means USA will need a win and for some tiebreakers to go their way. USA's form, it's been poor when they play against Panama lately. If you go back further, they lost to Panama in the Gold Cup. That snapped a run of 10 games undefeated for the USA. Since that time, they're 7-1-5. It's rather mediocre. They only have 3 wins in 8, and one of those wins was needed to go to extra time after that Panama loss going back further. Uruguay, Matchday 1, beat Panama 3-1. Matchday 2, beat Bolivia 5-0. Stats in that game, 20 shots, 7 shots on target, possession 55%, corners 9 for Uruguay. Next game against Bolivia, shots 18, shots on target 9, possession 60%, and corners 4 for Uruguay. So through 2 games, Uruguay has piled up 38 shots and 16 shots on target. They'll likely be rotating here. They don't necessarily need a win to wrap up this group, but the backups are just as good and include the likes of Rodrigo Bentancur and Luis Suarez, who have seen next to no time in this tournament so far. 6 games in CONMEBOL World Cup qualifying. If we look at Uruguay's form going back before this tournament, they're second. They're only behind Argentina, 4-1-1. They're the highest scorers in South America right now with 14 goals in 6 games. Nobody else has more than 8. Uruguay's form recently, though, it's just 3 wins in 6, but they are 11-4-2 going further back. But they did fail to score once against Costa Rica in May. That's the only time, though, in 17 games they've not found the back of the net. In their last 3 games, they've outscored their opponents by an incredible 12-1 scoreline. In competitive matches only, not counting friendlies, they've scored in 9 straight games, multiple goals in 6 straight, and multiple goals in 8 of 9. This Uruguay team seems to be firing on all cylinders right now. If we look at head-to-head, these teams drew 0-0 back in 2022 in a friendly. They drew 1-1 in a 2019 friendly. Other games were much further back in 2002 and 1963. Best bets for Uruguay and USA. Uruguay only need a draw to win this group, which is a bit of a concern if you're looking to bet on a Uruguay win. Now, whether they win the group or not, the reward is going to be Brazil or Colombia, which can still go either way, and both teams neither of those would be easy, so there's no real reward necessarily to win this group or to come to win this group. They're not really getting a reward either way. Still, Coach Bielsa goes out every game with his high pressing style. They go hard. He'll surely expect even a rotated lineup to go for the win in this game. Just because they don't need it, I still think Uruguay's the better team. Make no mistake, Uruguay has looked good. Probably the best, in my opinion, of any team in this tournament so far. Certainly the most exciting. Of course, you have to take into account they've played Panama and Bolivia. However, USA did just lose to Panama, and they only beat Bolivia 2-0, whereas Uruguay beat Bolivia 5-0. USA, coming into this tournament, they lost to Colombia 5-1. They drew Brazil 0-0 in a friendly. So which side will show up here? It's tough to say. In fact, the fact that you can get, in my opinion, 2-1 odds for Uruguay to win this game just seems ridiculous to me. Certainly, I think there's great value on a Uruguay win here. They're definitely the better team, in my opinion. You get a big payout for that as well. However, they don't need the win. USA does need the win. USA is at home. So to me, one of the safest options is probably the Uruguay draw no bet option if you want to go that route. So you get the win if they win, and if they draw, it's just a push. One other option, I see some parlay potential with the two games happening in this group on Monday, simply going Uruguay double chance to win or draw, and just pair in a Panama to score. I previewed that Panama-Bolivia game in a different video. Panama should likely win that game. I certainly think they'll score. Bolivia always gets scored on. So you could go Uruguay double chance, Panama to score, minus 129 in a parlay. But if we're just looking at this game between USA and Uruguay, I think the best bet would be Uruguay draw no bet at plus 110 odds. What are your picks for these games in the Copa America action on Monday? Be sure to share them down there in the comments. And if you're shopping for the best sports betting odds and new customer promotions, be sure to help out my channel and check out the link, signupexpert.com/shredthespread, and you can see all of the great bonuses available to new customers. Check it out, and good luck with your Copa America picks.